I can give you money. But in exchange, you have to come with me. Do you understand what I am saying?
What is this you are saying? I am not that kind of girl.
If you watch this video, you will understand that what the girl did will remain a lesson of shame for us. So keep watching till the end to see what happens. Did the girl really go to the boy's bed for money? Evening was descending on the steps of Asigat and Banaras. Amidst the preparations for the Ganga Aarti, the sound of bells was echoing. But amidst that holy clamor, there was a sound that no one could hear. That was the sound of Mira's stomach, rumbling with hunger. 20-year-old Mira, who wore a dirty salwar kameez and whose scarf, dupatta, had hundreds of holes. She sat huddled in a corner. There were dark circles under her eyes, her cheeks were sunken, and music, her lips were, dried out from thirst. This evening in Banaras was spiritual, music. But for Mira, it was just another day when music didn't know if she would get food at night or if she would have to sleep after drinking just water. People would come, bow down to Mother Ganga, watch the Aarti, and return to their homes. Music. Mira would look at every person approaching with hope. There was no begging in her eyes. There was a silent question. Am I not a human being? Just then, a burly confectioner, Halwai, was passing by, holding stale samosas. He threw one samosa towards a dog and the other towards Mira. The dog pounced on it, and so did Mira. But Mira did not pick up that samosa. Even amidst such poverty, her sense of self-respect was still alive, which stopped her. She thought, there should be some difference between an animal and me. Standing in that crowd was a young man, Aditya Pratap Singh, age approximately 28 years. He was the heir to an old, wealthy family of Banaras and ran a large heritage restaurant in the city named Ruhani Rasoi. Aditya often came to the Ghat in search of peace. He had no lack of wealth, but his heart was empty. Aditya saw Mira. He saw how music, the girl, despite being tormented by extreme hunger, did not pick up the samosa thrown on the ground. A strange spark appeared in Aditya's eyes. He cut through the crowd and walked towards Mira. Aditya stood in front of her. Mira pulled her legs back in fear. She thought, perhaps he too has come to mock her, or is the police, music, who will chase her away from here. Aditya did not take money out of his pocket. He sat down on his knees and asked in a very soft voice, "Are you hungry?" Mira gave no answer. She just kept looking at him with big, fearful eyes. Aditya spoke again. "I can feed you, but there is a condition." Mira's heart skipped a beat. Music. Hearing the word condition, her hair stood on end. In the world of the poor, the meaning of condition is often the trait of the body. She clenched her fist in anger and fear. Aditya perhaps understood the fear in her mind. He immediately folded his hands and said, "Don't misunderstand. My condition is that I won't give food for free. You have to come with me. Music. Work in my restaurant. In exchange, you will get food, a roof, and money with respect. Will you fill your stomach by begging or music live with your head held high by working hard? The decision is yours." Mira was stunned. To this day, people had given her coins, music, abused her, hated her, but no one had offered her work or respect. A conflict was running in her mind. Should I trust this stranger? Music. Is this not some trick? But then she looked into Aditya's eyes. There was no lust there, music, nor was there pity. There was only trust, a sense of equality. Mira said, trembling, "I don't know music how to work, sir." Aditya smiled, a smile that melted the fear inside Mira. No one learns from their mother's womb. If the intention is pure, even a stone learns craftsmanship. Let's go. Mira got up. Her legs were wobbling. She reached Aditya's shiny black car. The driver wrinkled his nose, but Aditya himself opened the back seat door and signaled Mira to sit. The car stopped behind Ruhani Rasoi. It was an old mansion, Haveli, that had been converted into a restaurant. The aroma of spices was floating. In the air there, cardamom, music saffron, and the smell of desi ghee. Aditya brought Meera inside. The staff, manager, waiters, cooks there were all surprised. The manager whispered, "Sir, music, this is a beggar. Why have you brought her inside? What will the customers think?" Aditya said in a stern voice. "She was a beggar. Now she is a part of our family. Auntie, Kaki, music, the elderly cook there, take her to the bathroom. Give her clean clothes and let her eat music to her fill. Work will start from tomorrow." That night, after many years, Meera felt the scent of music soap. When she bathed and came out wearing the old but clean sky blue salwar kameez given by Kaki, she couldn't recognize herself in the mirror. Hidden beneath the layer of dust was the face of a stunningly beautiful, dark-complexioned girl. Her eyes, which were extinguished until now, were burning like lamps. Kaki gave her dal rice and hot roti. Meera put the first morsel in her mouth, and tears rolled down from her music eyes. This was not just the taste of food. It was the taste of freedom. Aditya was watching all this from a distance. Music. A strange peace came to his heart, which cannot be found even by signing a deal worth crores. The initial days were not easy. The staff maintained a distance from Meera. Music, she was considered untouchable. She was given the job of washing dishes. Meera would wash dirty dishes for hours without making any music complaints. Her hands would get cut, her waist would hurt. But she wouldn't utter a sound because she knew that this music pain was much better than the insults of the outside world. Aditya would silently keep an eye on her. One day, music, there was a huge commotion in the kitchen. In the evening, the orders for Shahi Paneer were very high. The head cook had mistakenly put too much salt in the gravy. There was no time to make it anew. The cook was shouting. Everyone was afraid. Meera was standing in a corner washing dishes. She hesitantly came forward and said slowly, "Forgive me. If a little milk and fried gram flour, besan, are mixed into this, and lemon juice added from above, then the salt will decrease." The cook opened his mouth to scold her. "You will teach us? Two-bit girl." Just then, Aditya entered the kitchen, music. "Stop," Aditya said. "Do what she is saying." The cook did so reluctantly. When the gravy was ready, Aditya tasted it. The taste was strangely beautiful. Not only was the salt fixed, but the flavor had also blossomed further. Aditya turned towards Meera. There was surprise and admiration in his eyes. "How did you know this?" Meera, music, lowered her head and said, "My mother. When we were small and sometimes the salt would become too much, mother used to fix it this way. Music, poverty teaches you, sir, that food should not be wasted. It has to be corrected." After that day, Meera's job changed. Music. Aditya gave her the responsibility of cutting vegetables and preparing spices. Gradually, the distance between Aditya and Meera started to decrease. Aditya, music, would come to the kitchen on some pretext or the other, sometimes asking about spices, sometimes about food. On a rainy afternoon when the restaurant was empty, Meera was cleaning spice jars. Aditya came there. "Meera, do you know how to read?" he asked. Meera shook her head. "No, sir." "Then how did you recognize the spices?" "Spices?" Meera picked up a jar, closed her eyes, and took a deep breath. "By the smell, sir. Every spice has its own story, just like humans do. This cinnamon, a little sweet, a little spicy, exactly like life." Music. Aditya looked at her, mesmerized. In that moment, he felt that Meera was no ordinary girl. Within her was such a soul that could fill Aditya's empty world. A gust of rain was coming through the window. Unknowingly, Aditya placed his hand on Meera's music hand. Meera trembled. It was as if a lightning bolt ran through both their bodies. Their eyes met. In that silence, 1,000 words were spoken that cannot be explained with words. This was the first knock of love. Meera had now become the soul of the kitchen. Aditya Music started teaching her cooking. Mira learned very quickly. She had magic in her hands. People now started coming to Ruhani Rasoi not just for Aditya's name, but for the taste of those new hands. But love never walks on an easy path. Aditya's mother, Sumitra Devi, who was a strict woman of old-fashioned beliefs, when she found out that her son had not only put a beggar woman on a pedestal, but had perhaps fallen in love with her, music. The ground slipped from beneath her feet. One day there was a very big party at the restaurant. The city mayor and big wealthy people had come. Sumitra Devi was also present, music there. Mira had prepared a special Banarasi thali for the guests that day. When Mira came to the hall to serve the food, a rich woman who had seen Mira at the Ghat a month ago shouted loudly, "Hey, this girl is the one who used to sit with a bowl at Asi Ghat. Chi, Aditya, you made us eat food from the hands of a beggar?" Music. You destroyed our religion. Pin-drop silence fell over the entire hall. Sumitra Devi turned red with shame. She stepped forward, music, and slapped Mira hard on the cheek. "Get out of here. I gave you shelter, music, and you cut off my nose, humiliated me." Mira's cheek was burning, but her heart was burning even music more. Tears rolled down her eyes. Without saying anything, she took off her music apron and ran away from there. It was raining outside, and she disappeared into that rain, returning towards the darkness from where she had come. Aditya was in the office then. Hearing the commotion when he came out, Mira was already gone. He learned the whole incident. That day, for the first time, Aditya looked into his mother's eyes and spoke. "Mother, you didn't slap her, you slapped my heart. She was not a beggar. She was the Annapurna, goddess of food, of this kitchen, and what you people call destroying religion, music, I call humanity. If she does not stay in this house, then I, music, won't stay either." Aditya frantically took the car and went out into the rain. Aditya, music, searched the entire Banaras thoroughly. Every ghat, every music alley, every temple. The rain showed no sign of stopping. His heart was pounding. Music. Did he lose Mira forever? It was 2 a.m. at night. Music exhausted, Aditya reached that spot at Asigat, music, where he had met Mira for the first time. There, sitting under a tree, wet and shivering, was Mira. She had her head buried in her knees. She wasn't crying. She had just become numb. Aditya ran to her. He took off his coat and wrapped it around Mira. "Mira," he called. Mira raised her head. Music. There was no complaint in her eyes. There was only deep sorrow. "Sir," music, "why did you come? I was fine right there. Keeping trash in a palace doesn't turn it into gold." Aditya lifted her face with his hands. Music, tears rolled down his eyes. "You are not trash, Mira. You, music, are my life. In that palace, in that kitchen, and in my heart, there was only emptiness. Music. You came and filled it. You don't know, but in the last, music, 6 months, I have learned to breathe. Only because of you." Mira looked at him with disbelief. "But society, your mother..." Aditya, music, pulled her into his embrace. The rain poured down even harder, as if the sky was also weeping in joy at their union. "To hell with society. Honor comes from character, not money. And I have not seen a character richer than yours in anyone, music. Will you marry me, Mira? Will you be my wife, my better half?" Hearing this, Mira burst into sobs. These tears were not of sorrow. These tears were of that recognition for which every human waits. Music. A loved one. She slowly nodded her head. Aditya picked her up in his arms. Chapter 7. Ruhani Rasoi is now not just a restaurant, but has become a brand. But bigger than this is that music, Aditya and Mira together opened an organization, Apnagar, our home. Music Gi. Here, they brought those girls and children who begged at the ghats. They were taught cooking, sewing, music embroidery, and education. Today, Ruhani Rasoi is being honored with India's most prestigious cooking award. Music Aditya was standing on the stage. The anchor announced on the mic, "And now I would like to call the real power behind this success. Mrs. Meera Aditya, sing." Meera came onto the stage. She was wearing a beautiful Banarasi sari, a small bindi on her forehead and vermilion, sindoor, in her hair parting. There was no fear on her face anymore. Instead, there was a wonderful self-confidence. The hall erupted in applause. The same people who once hated her were standing and clapping today. Music Aditya's mother, Sumitra Devi, was also sitting in the front row. In her lap was Aditya and Meera's 1-year-old son. Now, in her eyes too, there was only pride for her daughter-in-law. Meera took the mic. Her voice trembled slightly. Then it became steady. "That I am standing here today is due more to my life partner's trust, Music, than my own capability. He accepted me when I couldn't even accept myself. People say love is blind, but I say love is that vision which can see the human hidden inside torn clothes, Music." She looked at Aditya and said, "You didn't give me money in alms. You gave me my life. I love you." Aditya kissed Meera's forehead in front of everyone. Conclusion. Friends, this story of Meera and Aditya teaches us that any person's time can change at any moment. All that is needed is a hand that will hold them close. True love doesn't happen looking at beauty or bank balance. True love is that music which develops the soul. Today we see so many poor people on the street, music, and turn our faces away. Who knows, perhaps hidden among them is tomorrow's Meera or some lost diamond. If we show a little kindness, music, and a little trust, then this world can truly turn into heaven. So friends, this music was our video for today. How did you like this video? Please let us know by commenting music. Friends, these are not incidents from the Quran and Hadith. These are constructed based on real events in our society, music, and it has been described using the Quran and Hadith on how to solve these. Music, which country are you watching the video from? Let us know by commenting. Friends, if you want to watch such Islamic tales, music, and educational videos, subscribe to our Islamic Tales YouTube channel right now. So see you in the next video. Until then, may Allah grant us all the ability to stay on the right path. Ameen. Music, summa ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Rahmatullah.